Laws and Ethics CMA Intermediate oda book back MCQs. Introduction to Law and Legal System in India. Right to property is a constitutional right as per Article 300A 44th Amendment Act of 1978. The Constitution of India describes India as a union of states as per Article 1 of the Constitution of India. Constitution is the law of the land. On which date was the Constitution of India adopted by Constituent Assembly? November 26, 1949. What is the chief source of legal authority in India? Constitution of India. Indian Contract Act 1872. Acceptance to be valid must be absolute and unqualified. A proposal can be accepted by notice of acceptance, by performance of condition of proposal, by acceptance of consideration for a reciprocal promise. The answer is all of the above. Competency to contract relates to both age and soundness of mind. If only a part of the consideration or object is unlawful, the contract under section 24 shall be void. When the consent is caused by undue influence, the contract under section 19A is voidable. Sale of Goods Act 1930. A sale is complete when the following is transferred from one: ownership. The consideration in contract of sale must be price. The subject matter of the contract of sale must be sale. On which year the Sale of Goods Act enforced? 1930. As per Sale of Goods Act, dash is not included as goods, money. Negotiable Instruments Act 1881. The Negotiable Instruments Act 1881 is an act to define and amend the law relating to checks, bills of exchange, promissory notes. The answer is all of the above. Banker includes any person acting as a banker and any post office savings bank. Which is not an example of promissory note? Mr. B, I owe you rupees 1000. In a promissory note, how many parties are involved? 2. Which is not correct about the promissory note? It contains a conditional undertaking. The Negotiable Instruments Act 1881 extends to the whole of India. Indian Partnership Act 1932. An act of a firm means any act of a partner or an agent of the firm which gives rise to a right enforceable by or against the firm, any act by all the partners, any omission by all the partners. The answer is all of the above. Partnership is the relation between persons who have agreed to share the profits of a business carried on by all or any of them acting for all. Does it mean that losses are not shared? A minor may be admitted in partnership only for the profits, but he cannot share the losses. It also depends on the partnership agreement. A person may share the profit but may not share the losses. Sharing of profits also include losses, that is negative profits. So the answer is all of the above. Where no provision is made by contract between the partners for the duration of their partnership or for the determination of their partnership, the partnership is called as partnership at will. What information shall be given to the registrar of firms by a registered partnership firm? Opening of new branch, closing of the existing branch if any, change in the name of and address of the partners, change in the constitution of the firm, when there is a change in the name of the firm or in the location of the principal place of business. So the answer is all of the above. Who can inspect the register and file the documents at office of the registrar? Any person. What are the rights of partners after dissolution? To have the surplus distributed among the partners or their representative according to their rights, to have business wound up after dissolution, to have the property of the firm applied in payment of debts and liabilities of the firm. The answer is all of the above. Where any member of a firm has died or otherwise ceased to be a partner and the surviving or continuing partners carry on the business of the firm with the property of the firm without any final settlement of accounts as between them and the outgoing partner or his estate, then in the absence of a contract to the contrary, the outgoing partner or his estate is entitled at the option of himself or his representatives to such a share of the profits made since he ceased to be a partner as may be attributable to the use of his share of the property of the firm or to interest at the rate of dash on the amount of his share in the property of the firm, 6% per annum. The dissolution of partnership means it means the change in the relations of the partners. In what circumstances a partner may retire? In accordance with an express agreement by the partners, where the partnership is at will, by giving notice in writing to all the other partners of his intention to retire, with the consent of all the other partners. The answer is all of the above. What would be the position where a minor elects not to become a partner? He shall be entitled to sue the partners for his share of the property and profits. His rights and liabilities shall continue to be those of a minor up to the date on which he gives public notice. His share shall not be liable for any acts of the firm done after the date of the notice. The answer is all of the above. Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008. Which of the following is true about a LLP? LLP is a legal entity separate from its members. LLP is a body corporate. The answer is both B and C. Which of the following is true about the number of designated partners required in LLP? LLP can have at least 2 designated partners. What is the exact time limit under which a LLP must file its annual return with the registrar? LLP must file its annual return within 30 days from the closing of its financial year. Every LLP must maintain its books of accounts diligently. Those books of accounts should maintain particulars of the receipts and expenditures at the LLP with the details of those transactions, an inventory of the cost of goods purchased, work in progress, inventories, finished goods, as well as the cost of goods sold, a complete record of the assets and liabilities of the LLP. The answer is all of the above. Which of the following is true about the maintenance of books of accounts by LLP? LLP should maintain its books of accounts at the registered office. Which of the following is true about the maintenance of books of accounts by LLP? LLP should maintain its books of accounts on the accrual basis or on the cash basis. LLP should maintain its books of accounts based on the double entry system of accounting. So the answer is both B and C. Factories Act 1948. Age of adolescent worker is 14. Certificate of fitness to be young worker is to be granted by certifying surgeon. Whitewash or color wash should be carried out at least once in every period of 14 months. Where more than dash workers are employed, provision shall be made for cool drinking water during hot weather. 250. Shelter rooms with the suitable lunch rooms are to be provided if more than dash workers are employed. 150. No female child shall be allowed to work in any factory except between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. Compensatory holidays are to be availed within dash month, 2 months. Which one of the following amounts to safety measure? Fencing of factory. Identify from the following which is the power of inspector of factory. Enter into any place of a factory, make enquiry into any accident, seize or take copies of any document. The answer is all the above. Weekly holiday shall be the first day of the week. Payment of Gratuity Act 1972. Which does not amount to retirement? Superannuation. Gratuity is payable to an employee on his superannuation, retirement, retrenchment in all the above cases. The gratuity is payable to an employee shall not exceed 20 months' pay. The employer shall display an abstract of the Act and the rules in form number U. If sufficient cause is shown, the appropriate government may condone the delay in filing appeal against the order of the controlling authority for 60 days. Nomination is to be made by an employee after completion of 1 year of service. Which one of the following is to be included in the definition of wage? Dearness allowance. If an employer intends to close the business, he is to send notice to the controlling authority within 60 days before the intended closure. Nomination is to be filed in duplicate, which will not amount to service of notice under the rule, by courier. Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1952. Which one of the following will not include in the definition of basic wages? Dearness allowance, overtime, cash value for consideration, all the above. The contribution of employer to insurance fund is 1%. Contribution of 10% to PF is applicable to any establishment in which less than 20 employees are employed, any establishment declared as sick industrial company, jute company, all the above. Answer. The minimum administrative charge payable by the employer to the fund is rupees 500, rupees 75 per month for non-functional establishments and rupees 500 for active establishments, that is 0.5% of the pay subject to minimum of rupees 75 or rupees 500. The maximum penalty recoverable from the employer who makes the default in payment of any contribution to the fund is 25%. Withdrawal from PF may be allowed for the purchase of a dwelling place. The employees' pension scheme provides for superannuation pension as well as orphanage pension. The answer is both A and B. Contribution of the employer to employees' pension scheme is 8.33%. The following cannot be nominated for the purpose of EPF Act: sons of a deceased sons who have attained majority. While filing appeal to EPF Appellate Tribunal, the employer has to deposit dash of the amount due from him, 75%. Employees State Insurance Act 1948. The contribution shall be paid in a bank within dash days of the last day of the calendar month in which the contribution fall due for any wage period. 21 days. Actually, 21 days is only during COVID. Normally, it is 15 days. An appeal shall lie to High Court from the orders of ESI within dash days from the date of order of the ESI Court, 60 days. A member of the corporation shall cease to be a member if he fails to attend dash consecutive meeting, 3. ESI fund consists of contribution, grants from government, donations. The answer is all the above. The corporation may, with the approval of dash, establish and maintain in a state hospitals, dispensaries, etc. State government. Who among the following not be considered as an employee? Partners. Who among the following is not the principal employer? Legal representative of the contractor. Seasonal factory is the one which is engaged for a period not exceeding 7 months in a year. Which among the following will not be included in the definition of wages? Traveling allowance. ESI Corporation is a body corporate. The Code on Wages 2019. The minimum rate of wages on time work basis may be fixed in accordance with by the hour or by the day or by the month. The answer is any of the above. Section dash deal with eligibility for bonus. 26. Every inspector cum facilitator appointed under section 51 subsection 1 shall be deemed to be public servant within the meaning of section 21 of the Indian Penal Code. Section 56 talks about the composition of offences. Companies Act 2013. Which one of the following is not correct in regard to share certificate? The company secretary shall issue the share certificate. If a company does not have a common seal, the share certificate shall be signed by 2 directors or 1 director and a company secretary. The answer is either A or B. In case of unlisted company, the duplicate share certificate shall be issued within a period of 3 months. In case of a listed company, 45 days as per Companies Act and 15 days as per SEBI Act. The bonus shares may be issued out of the free reserves, securities premium, capital redemption reserve. The answer is all of the above. for which purposes securities premium account can be utilized. In writing of the preliminary expenses, buyback of shares, issue of bonus shares. The answer is all of the above. The quorum for a public company having the number of members more than 5,000 is 30. Members less than 1,000 is 5, 1,001 to 5,000 it is 15. An instrument of the proxy shall be deposited with the registered office of the company 48 hours before the conduct of the meeting. In case of e-voting, notice shall be sent as attachment in PDF. In the case of an adjourned meeting, the company shall give not less than 3 days notice to the members. Which one of the following is not correct? Managing director is the chairman of the meeting. Which of the following is the method of voting? Voting by show of hands, voting through electronic means, voting by poll. The answer is all of the above. A poll demanded on any question shall be taken within 48 hours from the time when the demand was made. Which one of the following cannot be transacted through postal ballot? Appointment of auditor. The assent or dissent received after dash days in postal ballot from the date of issue of notice shall be treated as if no reply has been received from the member. 30. If any inspection is refused or if any copy required is not furnished within the specified time, the company shall be liable to a penalty of Rs 25,000. The minimum number of directors for a public company is 3. What is the paid up share capital fixed for the appointment of a woman director? Rupees 100 crores. Paid up share capital of 100 crore or turnover of 300 crores. The appointment of an independent director shall be approved by the general meeting. The tenure of director appointed by small shareholders shall be 3 years. No independent director shall hold office for more than dash consecutive terms. 2. Which public company is required to appoint independent director? The public company having turnover of rupees 100 crores or more, the public company having paid up share capital of rupees 10 crores or more, the public companies which have in aggregate outstanding loans, debentures and deposits exceeding rupees 50 crores. The answer is any of the above. Which one of the following is not the criteria for the appointment of independent director? He shall relate to the promoters of the company. A director may be elected by small shareholders upon a notice by not less than 1,000 small shareholders or 1/10 of such shareholders, whichever is lower. At every AGM, not less than dash of the total number of directors shall retire by rotation, 2/3. The minimum age prescribed for the appointment of managing director is 21 years. Business ethics and emotional intelligence. The relationship between laws and ethics is complex. Many laws are representative to ethics of time. Law gives us a certain right because all humans are born equal. The role of accounting in problem solving is to provide information useful in evaluating alternatives. Ethics are the set of moral principles that guide a person's behavior. The following is the disadvantage of business ethics. Diversity in achievement.